Hi, I'm Eva from BudgetWithMe. Welcome back to this channel. In this video, I am going to do the Q&A for the 100 subscribers. And in the week since I asked for the questions, my subscriber count has bumped up to 130. And that's mostly because of a couple of YouTubers in the budget community that gave me a shout out. And I want to say thank you very, very much for that. As you know, YouTube is demonetizing a lot of small YouTubers. And as in last video, I will leave a complete list of all the budget financial YouTubers that I follow. But in this video, I'm going to do the Q&A. So let's go. And I have my questions here. Julia Marie, who is a financial YouTuber, asks, what city do you live in? I live in the Netherlands in a place called Voorschoten. And that is kind of a suburb just outside of the city of Leiden, which is one of the oldest cities in the Netherlands, I think. It was founded in the times of the Roman Empire. So Leiden is quite an old city. Voorschoten is not quite as old as that, but still it was founded in the Middle Ages, I think. And do your students know about your YouTube channel? Most of them, I think. I am quite an open person, so I like to also have conversations on a more personal note when I'm teaching. So I know how my students are doing, and my students know quite a lot about how I'm doing and what I'm doing in the meantime. So I think most of them know. I think one or two might be watching or have watched a couple of them, but I don't think they follow each and every one of my videos. But most of them do know about my videos. And Budget Geek is also a financial YouTuber. My question is for you, what is your goal for 2018 and how do you plan to achieve it? And I had to think about this for a minute because I don't do New Year's resolutions. I do have long-term plans and goals, but they aren't tied to the New Year's or to a calendar year. One of my main goals this year in 2018, what's coming up, is that in June I have another exam for my studies. And if I pass that exam, I can officially call myself a seamstress. And I am very much looking forward to that. And that's my main goal for as of now. Financial goals, my only real goal I have, and that has been the same for many of years, is to not go into consumer debt. And I like to have at the end of the year my net worth higher than at the beginning of the year. But avoiding consumer debt is my most important goal in each and every year. And as for now, I have managed to do that each year. And Mama Ray, have you considered doing any sewing tutorials on YouTube? Yes, but if I'm going to do that, it would be in Dutch, because there are a couple of YouTubers in English that do that very well. For example, Professor Pincushion and I can't think of the name of the channel. Colin E. Geely? What's the name of the channel? I will leave a link down below. But I do like to watch other sewing tutorials on YouTube. And if I'm going to do that, it would be in Dutch. And there is one Dutch YouTuber, I think, but she only has a couple of videos on YouTube, and then she has a video course outside of YouTube. But I would like to someday, way in the future, to have a channel as well in sewing tutorials. Sensible Living with Money Mom, one of the financial YouTubers that I love to follow. Would you like to come to the US to visit? Actually, I have been to the US twice. Once when I was about 12 and once when I was about 17, I think. We did a road trip, me, my sister and my parents. And the first time we went from Denver to, let's say, Mount Rushmore to Yellowstone to Brighton Zion and Monument Valley and back to Denver. And the other time we went from Denver to Mount Rushmore, Yellowstone, Brighton Zion, and then went to Las Vegas and ended up in San Francisco. And I don't think I'm going to again. Not because I didn't like it. I loved those two road trips and I have very fond memories of them. But I don't like to travel anymore. Not only financial, but mainly physical. It costs me a lot. I will leave also a link down below for a video called Why I Get Disability Payments. Travel in itself is costs me more than it benefits. So I don't think I'm going to do that anymore. Especially flying takes a big toll of me. I went to Venice a couple of years back in 2013, I think, and we hadn't even lifted off and my hip was dislocated and we were already taxiing, so we had to be staying seated, and that was on the way to Venice, and I had trouble walking the entire trip, and flying isn't a great form of transportation for me, to say the least. So I would like to, but I don't think I will. And Susan Lore, I hope I pronounce your last name correctly. Do you make clothes for individuals? Well, I make my own wardrobe in its entirety. The only thing I buy are socks and glasses. My glasses I only wear outside, but I wear glasses. And I make the wardrobe for my mom. I used to take on sewing commission, but in the same video as the disability video, I talked about how I have trouble dealing with deadlines. And when I took on sewing commission, that was one of the problems I couldn't quite handle, to have very busy weeks and then slow weeks and then very busy weeks and then slow weeks. For me, it isn't quite doable to maintain that on the long term, so I stopped doing that. And my cat's name is Dropshot, and that is a kind of alcoholic beverage. And when I got him from the pound, I also got his brother, and he was called Milkshake. He was black and white. But mostly I called him Drop of Ventje of Pukkeltje of Vriendje of Makkertje of all types of nicknames. I rarely call him by his full name, Dropshot. What do you do for fun or recreation? I zoo. YouTube is for me a hobby. I haven't started doing this channel for any goal of monetization or anything like that. I started when I was for one bored out of my mind, and two, looking for motivation to keep sticking to my own budget. But watching YouTube and replying to comments and replying to other videos is something I like to do. And I have an internet group where I have been a member of for about 11 years now. And I like to spend a lot of time there talking to other people. And do you have a boyfriend? No. And I don't have a girlfriend as well. I'm very much single. And I like that, I think. I'm not looking at the moment. If I met someone, either boy, girl, doesn't matter to me, and I fell in love, and she fell in love with me, I won't say no, but I'm not actively looking for a relationship. Could you take us along next time you bake or cook? Well, I thought about it, and I think you have in the past asked if I can do grocery hauls. And back then I filmed one, but I didn't post it. Yet again, in the video about disability payments, I explained that I used to have an eating disorder. And one of the remaining quirks is that I don't like to eat in public, and it's for now it's too much. I maybe in the future, but not yet. But I like that you would want to watch more kinds of video from me. And Modern Budget Girl, who is also a financial YouTuber and is very close to be able to stay monetized on YouTube. What has been your biggest financial struggle? Well, I have been living just above the Dutch poverty line for the past 7 years. And as I said previous, my main goal is to stay out of consumer debt. And I did manage that, but I back when I was studying and building up my student loans, most of that I used to save. So when I finished studying, I had a student loan of about 21,000 and a savings account of about 15,000 and something, with the goal of open my own practice as an creative therapist. And it's one of the studies I wasn't able to finish, and I had that money sitting for, I didn't know anymore what to do with it. I didn't have any plans at that moment. And as you will know in my budget videos now, I don't have that money anymore. Part of it was to buy a car. When my dad got sick, I bought a car to be able to go back home at least once a week and sometimes twice a week. And the other part is invested in my sewing teaching business. I bought my sewing machines from it, for example. And one of the reasons I started YouTubing my YouTube channel is because I noticed that my savings account was slowly draining, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't spend all of it before I reined myself back in. So I would say that my lack of income is my biggest struggle. I am very capable of budgeting and sticking to it, but I would like to have just a little bit more wiggle room in my income. What is something you haven't shared in YouTube? Well, I just started YouTube in July, and I only talked about financial stuff mostly as of yet. So a lot, I guess. Is there something that comes to mind at the moment? Can you ask a little bit more in what field of things you would like to know? Because I am very open. So I don't mind talking about just about anything. Something I haven't shared. My first job I wanted to do at first study I haven't even started, but I wanted to start was ergotherapy, which is ergotherapy. A kind of physical therapy, but then more for the fine motoric, the fine movements. And then a second study which I did start was to become a teacher in mathematics. And then I started to study for creative therapy, to become a creative therapist. And after that, I went to work in a call center. And I have briefly had an at-home study for bookkeeping, an accountant kind of basic accounting study, which I still use in my sewing business. So I do my own accounting. But if you have any more fields you would like to know anything, just ask. And if you could live in another country for 1 year, what country would it be? One of the last vacations we did with both my parents, when my dad was still alive, was in Norway. And I love the nature and the scenery over there. So I think I would, if I had to live anywhere else for a year. As you can hear, I am pretty much set on where I'm living right now. But if I had to live anywhere else for a year, I think it would be Norway. And I think, this was the last question. I want to thank you all for watching and subscribing to me, and especially for all the comments. I do very much appreciate them and like them and enjoy them. and I hope you will want to continue watching me in the future. Thank you all, and until next time. Bye bye.